It's become a bit of a thing recently for wrestling fans to say that other wrestling fans aren't satisfied with what they get, and when they actually get what they ask for, they're still never happy. And the sad thing about this is, even though it's kind of become a cliche to say that, the sad thing is, it is true. I mean, the fact of the matter is, you get these overwhelming opinions that you can just see everywhere you look in sort of wrestling forums, that people will want something to happen and then it'll happen and they'll change their mind. I think the most recent example of this is the Money in the Bank briefcase. This is basically how I would see this situation. So Otis was incredibly over. That was just a thing. People loved Otis, and then WWE decided to reward him by giving him the Money in the Bank briefcase. The reaction to this almost instantly was overwhelmingly negative. Like, unbelievably negative. Like, I couldn't actually believe how negative the reaction was, because I thought everybody loved Otis so much. And I think ultimately all that WWE can really gauge someone on whether they should be pushed or not is based on whether they work hard and whether people like them. They don't really necessarily care about that second one quite as much, but yeah. So ultimately, when someone like Otis comes along and gets that over, they might reward it with a push. And I know there's a difference between liking characters in a sort of jovial way and actually thinking they should be successful, but ultimately, in this day and age, I mean, who should be successful in WWE? There's a lot of people that nobody sort of has any massive fondness for, that seem to manage to get themselves to the top of the card quite easily, so why not Otis, you know? The fact of the matter is, the reaction to Otis winning the MITB briefcase was very, very negative. And now he's moved it on to The Miz, and again, the reaction is overwhelmingly negative, at least from what I've seen so far anyway. Now, if we rewind like a couple of years ago, the overwhelming opinion seemed to suddenly be that The Miz deserved a title shot, and a title run in fact, and that it was long overdue and he was such a hard worker and he deserved it. And at the time I was sat there thinking, please dear God, no. And now we've got to a point where that might actually happen. People have decided that isn't what they want anymore. And as much as I'm sort of in the camp where I don't want to see The Miz as champion either, it does feel like people have just changed their mind again, because they've been given what they want. All of a sudden, it isn't a good thing to move the briefcase off Otis. All of a sudden, it isn't a good thing for Miz to be in a title fighting position. It's very, very confusing. And I think ultimately that they might have, WWE realised that Otis having the contract was so unpopular that they thought it was best to just move it on. And that's kind of fair enough. If no one likes what's going on, you may as well not do it anymore. I mean, I think it's very clear that they didn't actually have a proper idea of what to do with it. I don't think there was ever a clear plan of what they were going to do with Otis having the briefcase, and I think it's only fair enough that they move it on if it's not popular. I also think there's a decent chance that the briefcase was only given to Otis because they didn't actually know what to do with it at the time. I mean, at the end of the day, you can't always have everything planned. So if they didn't have a particular storyline planned for a particular Money in the Bank contract holder, they might have thought, let's slap it on Otis and just let him hold that. We'll have a bit of fun with it. Bit of feel-good value. Can't really argue with that with massively over sort of jovial characters, and then we'll just move the briefcase on later, which is, you know, what I'm assuming has happened. Because like I say, it really does not feel like they had a coherent plan for what they actually wanted to do with Otis. I don't think they ever planned for him to actually cash it in. I think they were either going to have him lose it or move it on to someone else, but ultimately I don't think they ever planned to actually cash it in, and I felt that from the moment he won the damn thing. But the whole point of what I'm kind of saying is, what should they do in this situation? I mean, what do people want them to do? Who deserves to have the briefcase? Who should be carrying it right now? I don't know, personally. So, you know, you tell me. I mean, at this stage I'm sort of thinking, is the briefcase cursed? And should people just keep hot potatoing it around until WWE actually have a plan for it? Or until someone gets it and people don't complain? So, in the comment section below, please let me know, do you think that Otis should have won the briefcase? Do you think The Miz should have won the briefcase? Who do you think should have the briefcase? Thank you for watching this video, and goodbye. Thanks again for watching this video. If you did enjoy this discussion, I am thinking about doing more of these in the future, so please do give a like and a comment if you would like to see that. I don't intend to always be negative. I used to have quite a negative outlook on wrestling, and I'm trying to be a lot more positive these days, but sometimes there are going to be things where I feel like a little bit of a rant is necessary, so I thought, why not start off with one. If you did enjoy it, then please do give it a like, maybe give it a comment, and if you're feeling very generous, give me a subscribe. Thanks again for watching, and goodbye.